Hello, steadfast Taurus. July 13, 2026 carries a quieter kind of momentum, one that asks less for speed and more for awareness. Over the past few days, subtle patterns may have begun taking shape, and today offers a chance to understand them more clearly. Rather than pushing for immediate answers, allow yourself to notice what naturally rises into view. Like an old oak tree that grows stronger through steady seasons instead of sudden change, your greatest strength comes from patience paired with quiet confidence. As you move through the day, imagine yourself walking along a peaceful forest path where every step invites a deeper understanding of where you're headed. If life has felt busy or uncertain, this is a good time to pause before reacting. Looking at your circumstances from a calmer perspective may reveal possibilities that weren't obvious before. Not every delay is an obstacle. Sometimes it creates the space needed for wiser decisions and a more meaningful direction. Today's tarot symbolism reflects that same theme of thoughtful progress. The Knight of Swords encourages clear thinking, but not reckless speed. It reminds you that purposeful action begins with a focused mind. The Two of Pentacles speaks of balance, asking you to care for your own well-being while continuing to pursue your ambitions. Rather than pulling you in opposite directions, these priorities can support one another when approached with intention. The Queen of Pentacles reinforces this message, suggesting that the stability you seek is often built through the consistent choices you make each day. As you continue forward, pay attention to the quiet signals that seem to repeat themselves. A meaningful conversation, familiar numbers appearing at unexpected moments, or a feeling you simply can't ignore may encourage you to pause and reflect. These moments don't have to predict the future to hold value. Sometimes they simply remind you to stay connected to your own intuition and to recognize that your inner outlook shapes the way you experience the world around you. If you have the opportunity, spend a little time outdoors today. A walk beneath the trees, the sound of flowing water, or even a few peaceful moments in fresh air can help restore your sense of balance. As an earth sign, you often regain clarity by reconnecting with the physical world rather than trying to solve everything in your mind. Every challenge you encounter has the potential to deepen your understanding, strengthen your resilience, and reveal a wiser version of yourself. Move through this day with gratitude for the progress you've already made, even if it feels quieter than you expected. Your journey isn't defined by dramatic turning points, but by steady growth and thoughtful choices that gradually reshape your future. There may still be questions ahead, yet today's energy offers enough clarity to take the next meaningful step with confidence and purpose. Before we continue, remember that these insights are offered as general guidance rather than fixed predictions. Some parts may resonate deeply, while others may not reflect your current experience, and that's perfectly natural. Every person's path unfolds differently, so allow your intuition to keep what feels meaningful and simply leave behind what doesn't. Thank you for spending this time here with me. I hope you'll stay until the end, because we'll be exploring today's influences on love, finances, well-being, and family relationships in greater depth. Before we begin, I'd also like to share two symbolic numbers that may feel significant today: 13 and 22. Keep them in mind if they appear naturally, not as guarantees, but as gentle reminders to remain present and aware of the opportunities unfolding around you. A grounding shade like soft sage green may also complement today's energy, encouraging emotional balance, steady thinking, and a renewed sense of calm. If this message speaks to you, I truly appreciate your support with a like. Your encouragement helps this community continue to grow and allows these daily readings to reach more people who may find comfort or perspective in them. Above all, don't allow someone else's words or actions to determine how you see yourself. Your value isn't diminished by another person's judgment, nor is your path defined by their doubts. Trust the strengths you've developed through experience, because they are far more substantial than fleeting opinions. The confidence you build from within becomes the foundation for every meaningful opportunity ahead. At the same time, today's energy encourages discernment. Be thoughtful when evaluating promises, business opportunities, or people who seem eager to earn your trust too quickly. Even the most perceptive person can overlook important details when hope moves faster than careful observation. Instead of rushing toward what appears attractive on the surface, give yourself permission to ask questions, gather information, and let time reveal what is genuine before making an important decision. If you've been questioning whether you've spent too much time on something that no longer serves you, try not to see it as time lost. Growth is rarely a straight line, and even experiences that seem unproductive often teach you what truly deserves your energy. Some tasks aren't exciting, but they're necessary, much like clearing out a home that's slowly become cluttered over time. At first, every object seems difficult to part with because it carries a memory or a familiar feeling. Yet once the space is cleared, you realize how much lighter everything feels. Letting go can feel uncomfortable in the beginning, but making room for what genuinely belongs often starts by releasing what has quietly become too heavy to carry. Today's energy encourages that kind of honest housekeeping, not only in your surroundings, but in your relationships, your expectations, and even the stories you've continued telling yourself long after they've stopped being true. You have never been someone who measures life by the number of people around you. Genuine connection has always mattered more than constant company, and that instinct has served you well through every stage of your journey. While others may seek validation from larger circles, you've often found greater comfort in a handful of relationships built on trust and consistency. Rather than feeling pressure to expand your circle, consider whether the people already in your life reflect the respect, honesty, and steadiness you value most. Relationships, like gardens, flourish when they're cared for intentionally rather than overcrowded. Protecting a healthy environment is sometimes far wiser than filling it with unfamiliar influences before they've earned your confidence, because peace is often preserved by careful choices rather than constant additions. July 13 carries a grounded, yet quietly transformative atmosphere. Instead of asking you to chase dramatic change, it gently invites you to recognize how small shifts in perspective can gradually reshape your path. As an earth sign, your patience and practical nature become valuable strengths today, allowing you to remain steady even as new opportunities begin to take form beneath the surface. Not every meaningful change announces itself loudly. Sometimes it arrives through a conversation that lingers in your thoughts, a decision that suddenly feels easier to make, or a realization that changes the way you see your future. Progress doesn't have to appear all at once to be meaningful. Often it grows the way a river shapes stone consistently, almost unnoticed, until the landscape itself has quietly transformed. The tarot reflects this same gentle momentum. The Lovers appears not simply as a symbol of romance, but as a reminder that meaningful choices begin with inner alignment. Before you can build harmony with someone else, there is often an invitation to reconnect with your own values, priorities, and emotional truth. When your actions reflect what genuinely matters to you, relationships naturally become clearer, whether you're strengthening an existing bond or opening yourself to someone new. If a connection from the past returns to your thoughts or your life, approach it with curiosity instead of expectation. Rather than asking whether the past should repeat itself, ask whether both you and the situation have truly evolved. Let honesty guide your decisions more than nostalgia or idealized memories. The Two of Cups continues this message by highlighting reciprocity, emotional balance, and the quiet trust that develops over time. Rather than promising destiny, it reminds you that meaningful relationships are built through countless ordinary moments of understanding. You may notice someone becoming more open than before, or you may find yourself ready to express feelings you've been quietly carrying beneath the surface. These exchanges don't have to be dramatic to be significant. Often it's a sincere conversation, a thoughtful gesture, or a willingness to truly listen that creates lasting closeness. Real intimacy grows through shared willingness, patient listening, and the courage to meet one another with authenticity instead of expectation. The Chariot introduces a different kind of movement. It doesn't encourage rushing ahead. Instead, it reminds you that purposeful direction creates stronger results than scattered effort. If you felt delayed in love, career, or another meaningful area of life, today offers an opportunity to recognize that steady progress is still genuine progress. The pace may not always satisfy your impatience, but it often protects you from choices that aren't fully aligned with your long-term goals. Focus your energy on what truly deserves your attention and allow each thoughtful decision to strengthen your confidence for the next. Momentum becomes much more powerful when it's guided by intention rather than urgency. Strength appears as a quiet force rather than an overwhelming one. It speaks to the resilience you've developed through experiences that challenged your confidence or tested your patience. Difficult personalities, misunderstandings, disappointments, or moments when you question your own abilities have all contributed to the wisdom you carry today. Instead of hardening your heart, many of those experiences have taught you discernment, compassion, and emotional endurance. Today, your greatest power comes not from controlling every situation, but from responding with calm, self-respect, and quiet confidence. The ability to remain centered when circumstances become uncertain is one of your most valuable strengths. The Hermit deepens the day's reflective atmosphere. This card often appears when answers become quieter than questions, inviting you to step back long enough to hear your own inner wisdom. In a world filled with constant opinions and endless distractions, creating even a few moments of silence can become surprisingly powerful. Time spent alone, a peaceful walk through nature, or simply allowing yourself space to think without interruption may illuminate decisions related to family, work, or your long-term direction. Looking inward now doesn't separate you from life, it prepares you to return to it with greater clarity, steadier judgment, and a deeper understanding of what truly deserves your energy. That same thoughtful approach extends to your emotional well-being. If you've been carrying disappointment, loneliness, or memories of betrayal, today's energy encourages understanding rather than self-judgment. Rather than asking why those experiences happened, you may find it more healing to notice how they change the way you value trust, honesty, and emotional safety. Experiences that once felt like setbacks can slowly reveal themselves as teachers, strengthening your boundaries while deepening your resilience. The advice you receive about love is likely to carry greater meaning when viewed through this quieter perspective instead of being filtered through fear, urgency, or old expectations. Healing often begins when understanding replaces self-criticism. Your physical well-being also deserves gentle attention today, particularly if restful sleep has been difficult to maintain. Rather than dismissing ongoing fatigue or breathing discomfort during the night, consider it a signal worth exploring with appropriate professional care. While this won't apply to everyone, your body often communicates through subtle patterns long before they become impossible to ignore. Paying attention to healthy bedtime routines, reducing unnecessary stress before sleep, and creating greater consistency in your daily schedule can gradually restore both energy and mental clarity. Sometimes meaningful improvement begins with small daily habits rather than dramatic changes, reminding you that lasting wellness is usually built through steady care instead of quick solutions. Career matters reflect a similar theme of steady confidence. If you've recently been considering a new position or wondering whether you're ready for greater responsibility, you may begin recognizing that the opportunity you've been preparing for is closer than it once seemed. It's perfectly natural to feel uncertain when you're standing at the edge of meaningful growth. In many cases, self-doubt appears not because you're incapable, but because you understand the importance of what you're stepping into. Trust the experience, dedication, and professionalism that brought you this far, allowing them to speak more loudly than uncertainty. Continue approaching each new challenge with the same reliability and willingness to learn that have defined your journey so far. And you'll likely discover that confidence isn't something you wait to feel, it's something that grows each time you choose to move forward, despite your hesitation. As this chapter continues to unfold, let your actions remind you of what you've already proven to yourself through patience, consistency, and unwavering commitment. If you've recently stepped into a new role or found yourself considering a meaningful professional opportunity, today may help you recognize just how much you've grown. It's natural to feel both excitement and uncertainty when you're moving towards something that truly matters. Moments like these often bring a quiet question to the surface. Am I really ready for this? Yet, that question doesn't diminish your ability. It reflects your desire to honor the responsibility that comes with new possibilities. Remember that every opportunity you've earned has been built on your persistence, your reliability, and the work you've invested over time. The experience you've gathered through challenges, setbacks, and steady effort has prepared you far more than you may realize. Let those qualities speak louder than the voice of self-doubt, allowing confidence to grow from evidence rather than emotion alone. You may also find yourself navigating a challenging dynamic with a supervisor or someone in a position of authority. Not every personality is easy to work with, and today's energy encourages discernment rather than unnecessary confrontation. Some situations aren't meant to be won through argument, but through emotional balance and thoughtful timing. Choose your battles carefully, protect your peace where you can, and don't allow temporary frustrations to overshadow the progress you're making. Observe before reacting and remember that professionalism is often demonstrated through consistency, patience, and quiet confidence, just as much as through performance. By remaining grounded, you'll be better positioned to recognize when speaking up creates meaningful change and when preserving your energy is the wiser choice. Financially, the atmosphere favors stability built through thoughtful decisions instead of quick rewards. You may begin noticing signs that your consistent effort is creating stronger foundations, even if every result hasn't fully appeared yet. Progress in this area may arrive gradually, revealing itself through increasing confidence, improved planning, or opportunities that feel more aligned with your long-term goals than with short-term excitement. Consider opportunities that encourage sustainable growth, whether that's developing a new skill, refining a project, improving the way you manage your resources, or making practical choices that strengthen your future security. Lasting prosperity often grows from steady planning rather than dramatic strokes of luck. And today's energy reminds you that what is built carefully tends to endure. At the same time, remain aware of the people around you in professional settings. Most interactions will be genuine, but discernment remains one of your greatest strengths. If someone's words and actions don't seem to align, give yourself time before placing complete trust in the situation. You don't have to become suspicious of everyone, but neither do you need to ignore your instincts simply to avoid discomfort. Quiet observation often reveals far more than immediate reactions, allowing you to protect both your confidence and your progress without becoming cynical. Trust is strongest when it's built gradually through consistency rather than first impressions alone. The cards also suggest that your relationship with abundance begins within. When you approach your resources with gratitude, patience, and clarity, you're more likely to recognize opportunities that genuinely reflect your values. This isn't simply about attracting success. It's about becoming someone who notices and wisely responds to the opportunities already beginning to appear. Instead of worrying about whether your timing is perfect, focus on making thoughtful choices with what is already within your reach. Small, well-considered actions often create momentum that becomes visible only after looking back. The combination of steady effort and quiet initiative creates a stronger foundation than rushing toward uncertain outcomes, allowing your confidence to grow alongside your achievements. Love carries a similarly balanced message today. If you're in a committed relationship, you may find yourselves reflecting on what creates lasting stability rather than temporary excitement. Honest conversations about expectations, shared responsibilities, or future plans can strengthen your connection when approached with kindness, patience, and mutual respect. Rather than trying to solve every concern immediately, give one another room to listen without rushing toward conclusions. Even if recent challenges have created distance, small everyday gestures of appreciation, a thoughtful word, a shared moment of understanding, or simply being fully present often rebuild trust more effectively than grand promises. Strong relationships are rarely sustained by dramatic moments alone. They flourish through consistent care expressed in ordinary days. For those who are single, today's energy encourages openness without abandoning healthy boundaries. Past heartbreak may still influence the way you approach new connections, yet healing doesn't require you to expect every new person to repeat an old story. Every individual carries a unique perspective, a different history, and their own way of expressing care, which means each connection deserves to be experienced on its own terms. If someone reaches out with sincere intentions, allow yourself the freedom to become curious before deciding what the future should look like. There's no need to rush into commitment or to dismiss the possibility before it has a chance to unfold naturally. A simple conversation may offer more healing than you anticipate, reminding you that trust is rebuilt one genuine interaction at a time. Family matters invite a spirit of understanding and steady presence. Situations that once felt emotionally complicated may become easier to navigate as new perspectives emerge. Time has a way of softening emotions, allowing conversations that once seemed impossible to become more constructive. Your calm, dependable nature can help create an environment where disagreements soften and meaningful conversations become possible. Rather than trying to solve every problem at once, focus on listening carefully, setting healthy boundaries when needed, and responding with consistency instead of urgency. Sometimes the greatest gift you offer your loved ones isn't having all the answers, it's providing a sense of stability they can rely on. Some family decisions may deserve thoughtful attention now, particularly those that influence long-term stability or shared responsibilities. Trust your practical instincts while remaining open to the experiences of others. Relationships often become stronger when everyone feels heard, and today's energy supports that kind of patient collaboration. You may discover that someone close to you simply wants to feel understood before discussing solutions. What once seemed like an ongoing source of tension may gradually evolve into a deeper understanding built on mutual respect, honest communication, and a willingness to move forward together rather than dwelling on what cannot be changed. Overall, the emotional atmosphere around home and loved ones favors healing through understanding rather than forcing immediate resolution. As you process lingering emotions with honesty and compassion, you create more room for genuine connection to grow. Healing isn't always marked by dramatic breakthroughs. More often, it appears as quieter reactions, calmer conversations, and a renewed ability to see one another with empathy instead of assumption. Every thoughtful step you take contributes to a stronger sense of trust, resilience, and shared support that extends well beyond today, creating relationships that continue to strengthen over time. Your personal energy appears relatively steady throughout the day. Rather than expecting dramatic shifts, consider this an opportunity to move at a sustainable pace and reconnect with habits that restore both body and mind. A balanced routine, moments of quiet reflection, and giving yourself permission to rest when needed can become powerful sources of renewal. Small acts of consistency, rest, mindful routines, nourishing choices, and focused attention can gradually renew your motivation, helping you release feelings of stagnation without forcing yourself to move faster than your natural rhythm. By honoring both your ambitions and your well-being, you'll discover that steady progress often carries you farther than bursts of urgency, allowing the day to unfold with quiet confidence and a growing sense of inner stability. As this day continues to unfold, remember that your greatest strength isn't found in trying to prove yourself. It's found in allowing your authentic qualities to be seen. Gratitude has a quiet way of changing the lens through which you experience life, helping you notice opportunities that might otherwise pass unnoticed. When you pause to recognize what is already growing, even in small ways, you create a stronger foundation for the future you're patiently building. Progress doesn't always arrive with dramatic milestones. More often, it reveals itself through subtle shifts in confidence, wiser decisions, and a growing sense of peace within yourself. The path ahead is shaped not only by your ambitions, but also by your ability to appreciate each meaningful step along the way, trusting that every steady effort contributes to something larger than you can fully see today. Be mindful of emotions that quietly drain your energy. Comparison, resentment, or lingering frustration rarely offer the clarity you're looking for, while calm reflection often reveals a more constructive direction. It's easy to become distracted by what others appear to have achieved, yet your journey has always followed its own rhythm. Today invites you to let go of emotional weight that no longer serves your growth, and to make room for attitudes that encourage resilience, purpose, and genuine peace. Like a river that keeps moving without forcing its course, your progress becomes more natural when you stop carrying what belongs in the past. Every moment you choose understanding over bitterness creates more space for creativity, confidence, and the emotional freedom needed to welcome what comes next. If you're currently studying or expanding your knowledge, today's energy supports curiosity and steady learning. Consider engaging with people who challenge your thinking, whether through conversations with teachers, mentors, classmates, or thoughtful discussions online. Sometimes a single idea, an unexpected perspective, or even a thoughtful question can spark insights that stay with you long after the conversation ends. Even experiences that seem unrelated to your immediate goals can become valuable pieces of a much larger picture. Knowledge has a way of connecting over time, and every sincere effort you make contributes to your future understanding. Trust that your willingness to remain open and teachable today will quietly strengthen the confidence and wisdom you rely on tomorrow. Your interactions with others may also feel especially supportive today. Conversations with Virgo may highlight shared practicality and thoughtful problem-solving, making it easier to reach common ground and turn ideas into realistic plans. Scorpio could encourage deeper commitment and focused determination, especially when important decisions or collaborative projects arise, reminding you that honest communication often builds stronger partnerships than certainty alone. Time spent with fellow Taurus may bring a comforting sense of familiarity, reinforcing the value of patience, loyalty, and steady encouragement. These are symbolic tendencies rather than certainties, but they offer meaningful themes to notice as your day unfolds. Rather than looking for perfect compatibility, pay attention to the qualities each interaction awakens within you, because those subtle reflections often reveal just as much about your own growth. As we come to the close of today's reading, I hope these reflections have offered a little more perspective and helped you better understand the quiet patterns moving through this moment. Some answers arrive all at once, while others reveal themselves gradually through experience, patience, and careful observation. Astrology and tarot can illuminate possibilities, but the choices that shape your future will always remain in your hands. Trust your judgment, stay connected to what truly matters, and allow today's insights to become gentle companions rather than fixed expectations. Let them encourage thoughtful action instead of replacing your own inner wisdom, because your path is ultimately defined by the decisions you make with intention and self-awareness. If this reading resonated with you, I truly appreciate your support with a like. Your encouragement helps this community continue to grow and allows these daily reflections to reach others who may be searching for a little guidance, reassurance, or perspective. And if you'd like to continue exploring these daily astrological reflections together, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss future readings. Thank you for spending part of your day here with me, Taurus. Your willingness to pause, reflect, and remain open to new perspectives is already a meaningful step forward. Wishing you a peaceful July 13 filled with steady confidence, clear perspective, meaningful connections, and the quiet satisfaction that comes from moving forward one thoughtful step at a time. May today's calm become tomorrow's strength, carrying you into the days ahead with renewed purpose and an even deeper trust in yourself.